Welcome, everyone. So much love to all of you. Thank you for joining us this evening. We welcome you to ground your energy in your beautiful body, placing your hands on your heart, taking deep breaths in and breathing out. Taking deep breaths in and breathing out. Welcoming this now, tuning into the beautiful, sacred, illuminated light of love inside your heart space, and really feel into its gracious presence as the spark of light that it is, extended from source light of all illumination. And deeply fill yourself from inside out with this beautiful, dazzling, gracious, precious, sacred flame of light. Fill all your bodies with this love. As you place yourself inside a beautiful sphere of light, or a diamond light, or a pyramid, or a Merkaba, breathing it even deeper in this sacred space, connected all the way up through your crown, in this portal of light directly to the heart of source light of all illumination. And from underneath you, grounding it deep in this vertical axis of light, all the way to the heart of Gaia, right inside the core of her crystalline diamond heart, and fill yourself with this incredible presence. Expand and love all the way in you, all in your body, with your breath. Feed yourself first, and when you are fully engulfed by this blazing, dazzling, golden white light of love, and direct it towards Gaia by placing your hands in the front, being an instrument in the stream of light moves through you, allowing the light to go exactly where it needs to go on Gaia, covering it with all the love for humanity and for anywhere on Gaia that is missing love. Take a deep breath in. Release. And again. Release through your mouth. And another deep breath in. And empty yourself. Come on back in. Come in. Come in. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Move your legs if you need to. Come back into your vessel. Bring your consciousness back. And saying, those of you who are joining us on live stream, welcome back. So, Hillary, we will begin with you. What did you experience? What you'd like to share?
This one was interesting. This was more people. It was more. I saw lots of people running in chaos and scared, and I was sending light and I was sending love, and I was told, which I've had before here. This time I heard trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I've heard trust.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a face. I saw many faces, but they were mostly people, and they were mostly people in chaos and people like, I guess, I don't know who they were. Um, and then I'm pretty sure it was Palladians. I felt like it was Palladians. And then there was a big white face with really blue eyes that was talking to me and telling me what I was supposed to do. And now I feel like I'm going to forget. It was like, uh, trust, rise, uh, love, and live, joy. It was so weird though, because everybody was running like, "Ah," and it was so like, oh, also, I got that this is part of the bigger plan, and that this is to not be afraid, that this is all for the higher good. And I definitely felt like those people that were running were the sheep, but I felt those of us that are of light, well, really like they needed us. Like we were really helping.
Holding the fort down.
Yeah. Yeah. And I saw like something about eating, I saw beautiful food, beautiful flowers, green, all that was, that's here and available. It was very, like, not as etherical this time.
Yeah, visceral.
Yeah.
Thank you. So mine today, as soon as I closed my eyes, right away I moved out of Earth and above immediately, way out of the stratosphere into the cosmos, and immediately ginormous figure of Saint Germain showed up. I was like, there you are again, and he had his hands around Earth like this, and he says, "Come, put your hands next to my hands." And I was luminous, white, ginormous size, same as his size, and I came, held, put my hand there, and the violet flame was coming out of him, and mine was white flame. I said, and I was just in that space for a while, just watching, and then he moved his hands, and my hand remained, and then all around, as I was holding Gaia, all these white rose petals started coming down on Gaia, and I saw the white rose petal going on all ocean, and lakes were covered, ponds, rivers, um, then fields everywhere had these petals of white rose, and then on the people it was coming, on the animals, like people were stepping on white petals, and then started all around Earth from top. These white doves started circling. Then it was gold doves, and then crystal clear doves. Um, then I saw two ginormous Christ gold dragons above this ginormous figure, white, that I was holding. Gaia was a mother energy. Then it was very beautiful. Then I saw us also in the room. We were all being like purified, blessed by this white rose petal. And I received right away that this whole experience, what is taking place globally, is a reset, is a reset of purification, reset, and then it started trickling down towards earth, that people, for example, losing job, um, banks closing, people not being able, like we said, people not being able to pay their things, but everybody's like okay with it because everybody's in the same situation, whether they were poor, whether they were wealthy. It was the same for all of them. All were affected as one. And then suddenly people were open for, um, to go live other ways. All kinds of other ways were coming out of it. There's like such beauty um, of this. And then I also saw this ginormous team of angels behind this giant figure holding Gaia that I was in. Angels and angels and angels, and the only other thing was it's the perfection of what's happening and the ones that are holding the light. That it wasn't just them holding the light; it was the joy that they'll be experiencing as they're holding the light through this chaos. Is really interesting. Like the celebration of being the, the holders of light and thriving.
Right.
So anyway, that was my experience tonight. Yeah.
So immediately when I closed my eyes, I tuned into my heart and I just saw all of our hands around the earth. And I noticed just golden energy that was spinning around the earth as if like golden rays of light were spiraling, 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 moving around. It was a very interesting light show because as all those lights were spiraling around, then it took me to a scene where through the earth there was just white light coming up through the ground, through the trees, the crystals, and that was shooting through all land masses. White purification light was being vertically ignited from the ground. As that was happening, I noticed then the violet flame, Saint Germain's violet flame, started circling around Earth. And then I just felt the chant, I am the being of violet fire, I'm the purity God desires. And I felt that energy echo through as more beings were surrounding Earth with energy that was like this golden energy being pulsated into the Earth. And then it was interesting. Then I saw these these pyramids. This time these pyramids were shaped like it's like in the four directions with one huge crystal in between. And the light that was coming from all the energy from the hands was going into the pyramid, and then those were reflecting back outward toward the whole world. And what was interesting, as it was reflected, it showed me like a bird's eye view of the world. And if you can imagine like a swarm of bees, but so big it was like a black cloud. And it showed the mass populations of chaos in like this kind of like configured blackness that's just hovering. If you could think like in a atmospherical way of in our Earth right now, like an atmosphere. And so all the light that was coming through the pyramids, the violet flame around the Earth was being focused on this, I would just say this dark black chaos that was circulating all through, but it was circulating in like different shapes all throughout. Then I saw 4 dragons breathing fire straight down on the crystal that shimmied the light outward, and then different rays of light coming in through the earth and circulating around. And then it took me to the picture where I was in the earth, as I've seen many times, as like a Buddha position, and just holding the light and love as an anchor as it came through me, and then pulsating outward to the earth as holding the light, the love, and then just anchoring that as it just kept pulsating out, pulsating really quickly.
Thank you.
That one was the fastest one for me too. I just couldn't believe it was over. I don't even know where to start as well. It also to me didn't feel as cosmic or etheric. Like I wasn't. It was very like on this earth because of what's happening. I kept hearing the sound of children playing and laughing. It was a really common theme. For a really long time, there was just this golden, green, sparkly light really moving through me because I need a lot of healing, I guess. And there was a moment where it was just watching plant life take over all the buildings. Like all the buildings of the earth were still there, but there was just like plant life just everywhere. Like everything was green. And it was in so many settings all over the earth of people, adults teaching kids about how to be, walking through the forest. I was dancing for somewhere in the universe, just completely naked with a rose crown, and you guys are with me, and I was like, see, we don't have to be there. We could be here. We could be there all at once. And then you guys left, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep shooting golden light everywhere. There's just so much that happened. I can't even say everything. I guess that's all I can remember in this moment. But it was really a lot. Now I remember one thing that kept coming up was seeing a sperm fertilize an egg, and that was a golden, green, sparkly light. And then I was seeing germs like spreading, like in science documentaries, but it was all gold. And also just seeing the physical like penetration of a woman to man, but becoming gold, and then the gold, and it was very strange, but very beautiful in a way. And then I'd see the human body, just the shape of the human body, with that gold green light, and then all their bodies, the framing of them, but all with this gold green light. So that was everything that I think was most significant.
Thank you.
Wow. My name is Emily. It's nice to meet all of you. Thank you, Caitlin, for inviting me, and thank you for holding this space. I haven't meditated since February at Love Burn, so this was good. My friend led us a whole group in 108 ohms, so that was my first time doing that, and this definitely brought me back to that moment. And for me, I don't think it was as visionary as all of you just described. That was pretty epic on the journey to the light and holding the earth. But for me, it was definitely feeling very warm and checking in with my heartbeat, and definitely lots of warm sensations. And whenever I meditate and like really meditate, my hands get really warm. So definitely more of like a feeling than lots of like visual stimulus. So for me, it was pretty dark and lots of darkness. And then I think listening to the music and feeling my heartbeat, it like brought me to the ocean, and like the sound of breathing and like being with the ocean, and then just lots of feeling my body and like feeling all the tension and letting that go, and like feeling my body relax throughout the time, and like lots of release and like being okay with letting go, and like just all the reminders that like everything's okay, and like with all the craziness happening now, like being at peace and like just reminding myself like be here now, you're okay, like you're held, you're safe, and like lots of like just allowing myself to relax and like let shit go. It's like a big part of it. So I think water was like a big metaphor, and like clouds and like seeing my thoughts pass. And I was telling Caitlin on the way here, like how I think of like meditation and like seeing my thoughts as clouds, and like sometimes it's stormy and like sometimes there's clear skies and you have to remember the blue sky and like that metaphor coming up and the ocean and water and just like release. And I think that was like the theme for me.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you.
I did have one thing that I felt was significant. There was one part that I from the inside earth, in the center of it. I can't even fully describe it, but my hand started moving as from the inside. Then these white petals were also coming out. So I feel it was more like the grid lines, everything coming out, shooting out, so that all this density was being lifted. And my hand started doing, usually when things have to clear out, started doing what they usually do in that clearing. And that was quite a bit. And then it started going into the galactics, and I saw these codes of purple, green, very much this color mixed together, coming down. And then my hand, I was I was directed my hand back in that presence and holding the earth like this, like really holding that the energy is held now. So I felt that was also very significant for tonight. Um, it's beautiful because I felt like tonight was such a necessary gathering. I'm so grateful to all of you. Really, really grateful, all of us, and and all the beauty that will come out of this, like all the beauty, all the many hands together, um, all the changes, all the closings, and that we'll continue to support each other. I feel like Michael and I are just going to continue to have, when it closes, if like it gets to a place of a lot more closing, just going to have like circle, hey, let's all hang out here, and continue that. So let me just check in. Thank you all for being with us. We love to hear from you as well. What did you experience? Also, let us know where you're joining us from. We're very grateful to you. Looking very much forward in your experience tonight. Again, as always, when we come in this place, our logical mind cannot take part in this because it is our spiritual mind and that we're seeing through that is connected to our higher heart. So it's a very freeing, liberating place where our essence is able to be, interact multidimensionally, bringing all the goods through us. And as we can hold the vision and see through this and communicate it, we validate each other's experiences and we recognize these, we see them in the vision so they can take place on earth as we get to be a witness of also what's coming as we hold circles like this. So thank you so much for joining us. Would love to hear when you get a chance to please share this with us and join us again next week, Tuesday night, and invite many more to gather with us, because the more we are, the more we're able to tune into the frequencies and bringing them together on earth. So much love to all of you, and thank you so much for your generosity, your service, your purpose this evening for such a larger mission. Indeed.
So much love. Aho, everyone. Good night.